Hey, it's Lights Camera Jackson. What's up, everybody? It's Sunday. It's LCJ Live, January 25, 2026. Thanks for being here. Speedy Gonzalez is here with me. The big Speedy Gonzalez movie announcement. Very cool news for Jorge Gutierrez. And I've got Rachel McAdams here with me because Send Help had nationwide early access screenings last night, and it opens officially later this week. The latest from Sam Raimi. Quite a director. His new movie, Dylan O'Brien, joining Rachel McAdams in that. Rachel McAdams got her star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame the other day. So big promotion for Send Help, a big 20th century release. So is Avatar, but now Avatar Fire and Ash is not the #1 movie at the box office anymore, because Mercy is on top. We will talk about the Mercy box office. We will talk about my reaction to some of the Oscar nominations and more coming up here on LCJ Live. Hope you're doing all right. It is a snowy Sunday in New York and across the country. Hope you're staying safe, staying well. Thanks for all the comments. Getting the snow already. Kelly is kind of awkward. Getting that snow already. Stay well, stay positive through all of this. We're going to do this LCJ Live, talking about all things in the movies. B. Hunter Woodruff says the 1 p.m. screening of Mercy was canceled because of the snow. Yeah, if you look at this Mercy box office, 11.2 million. I didn't think it was going to get to 12 or 13 million based on what's going on with the weather around the country today. If you break down the numbers, Thursday 1.5 million, Friday 3.5, yesterday 3.9. Today is the estimate of only 2.2 million. That could come in even lower. So we'll see. Mercy's still definitely going to be #1 because Avatar in second with 7 million. There's enough of a gap there, but I'm thinking all these Sunday estimates are going to come in even lower when the actual results come in tomorrow because of the snow, because of this wild weather across the country. I saw Mercy on Thursday. There were about 10 people at my showing. It was also the Regal Monday Mystery Movie AMC Screen Unseen last Monday night in IMAX 3D. Not a fan of Mercy. You'll get my full review at toofast2films.com. Mike Sargent and I review H is for Hawk. I review Mercy, and we talk about the Oscar nominations. But the thing about Mercy is it is a mess. It is, man, just throwing all these graphics at you, and the editing and the dialogue is so corny, and the acting is way over the top. Everything about Mercy is in excess. The visuals, the dialogue, the story, the explanatory plot. It's so explanatory through the whole thing. It makes some crazy changes in the second half. And at one point, you're just like, I give up trying to follow this. Let's just see what happens. And yeah, crazy stuff. How'd you get the poster? You know, there's posters in places. There are. So there you go. Yeah, Mercy's a contender for some Razzies next year. I saw the Razzie nominations come out the other day. Mercy's a contender for some Razzie nominations next year. With Rebecca Ferguson, and not a good performance from her, not a good performance from Chris Pratt, and then some of the supporting players, the way the story goes, oh my gosh, you're going, really? Did we really? I was laughing out loud during some parts of it, and I wasn't sure if it was going to be that cheesy enough to laugh out loud, but it becomes that. Like that helicopter, or what is it, that bike that one of the officers rides in midair, and some other crazy, you just go, what are we doing? So that's Mercy. It's in the theaters. It's #1, 11.2 million. Amazon MGM is trying to beef up its theatrical slate, and when you look at the rest of the year, Crime 101 is coming in February, Project Hail Mary in March, The Sheep Detectives in May. That looks interesting. Wow. And then Masters of the Universe in June, and Hathaway Movie Verity, I think it's October, and some other ones for Amazon MGM. They didn't have a gigantic 2025 Accountant 2, Working Man, a couple other things, but big stuff. They're hoping that Masters of the Universe is huge. And thanks for all the comments. Appreciate you being here on LCJ Live. The Charlie XCX movie, The Moment, is one of the films coming out this weekend. We'll preview all the movies coming out this weekend, including Send Help, here coming up on LCJ Live, along with my Oscar nominations react. As I mentioned off the top, if you're just joining us, Jorge Gutierrez working on the Speedy Gonzalez movie. Congratulations to Jorge, and that should be pretty fun. #2 is Avatar, 7 million. It's at 378.5. Internationally, Avatar has made $1 billion. Worldwide total, $1.379 billion. So here's the thing. Yes, it's an accomplishment for this movie to get to almost $1.4 billion, but the other ones did 2.9, although I think some of that money was part of re-releases, and 2.3 billion for the one that just came out 3 years ago. So we're down $1 billion almost from the last one. I'm reading 600 million at the same point as the last one we're off. So that is something. Yes, it's great that we got another $1 billion plus movie, almost $1.5 billion. But the fact that we're down so significantly from the last one, maybe this will say to James Cameron, you know what? Three's good. I don't need to make any more. That would be fantastic news, James Cameron. Move on to something else. Disney doesn't make a fourth Avatar. They have no choice. I don't know. They could get another $1 billion movie, but will it actually? We go from 2.9 to 2.3 to 1.5 to 1. Is that enough? I don't know. We'll have to see. We will have to see. All right, number 3 is Zootopia 2. It added 5.7 million. It's at 401.4. It passes Frozen domestically. One of the biggest animated films of all time now, Zootopia 2, passing Frozen. Number 4 is The Housemaid, added 4.2 million. It's at 115.5 for Lionsgate. Number 5 is 28 years later, The Bone Temple. Huge drop this weekend, down to 3.6 million. It's up to, I think, around 21. Not great for this one, and the last one did 70, remember. So we're not even at the opening weekend total of the one from 7 months ago. Number 6 is Marty Supreme, 3.6 million. It's at 86.3. I think it's going to IMAX in some places Friday. Marty Supreme got a bunch of Oscar nominations the other day, and Timothée Chalamet, of course, the front runner for Best Actor, but a lot of people are looking at maybe Leo or Ethan Hawke even to win, maybe Wagner Moura, maybe Michael B. Jordan. I mean, all 5, I guess, are in play, but Chalamet is the front runner, but we got a long award season to go. It could win a lot of gold. We'll see what happens with Marty Supreme. Number 7 is the horror film Return to Silent Hill. 3.2 million for that. Number 8 is Hamnet. Also got a bunch of Oscar nominations, but not Paul Mescal. We'll talk more about that in a minute. 2 million for Hamnet. It's at 17.6. It needs another 2 million to become one of the 5 biggest focus features films of 2025, and I think it's going to do that. Jessie Buckley is the frontrunner for Best Actress. But what about Rose Byrne? Is she a contender after her Golden Globe win too? We'll get into that this award season. Number 9, Lord of the Rings Fellowship of the Ring at 1 million. It's at 6.3, the re-release. And number 10 is Primate with 1.6 million. It's at 23.5. Outside of the top 10, The Testament of Anne Lee. I thought Amanda Seyfried was going to get in, but it ended up being Kate Hudson, who I'm thrilled is in because Song Sung Blue was my number 2 movie of the year. Great performance. Frankly, Hugh Jackman should have been nominated as well. He was phenomenal in Song Sung Blue, but Kate Hudson's great in it. But I thought Amanda Seyfried was like Kristen Stewart with Spencer. Didn't get the SAG nomination. The younger Academy voters made sure Kristen Stewart got in. It did not happen here for Amanda Seyfried for The Testament of Anne Lee, which expanded to 500 theaters and made $676,000. It's at 1.6 million. It's not going to make much more now that it got 0 Oscar nominations. It's not going to make much more. Song Sung Blue with Oscar nominee Kate Hudson added 800,000. It's at 37.1. SpongeBob added almost 1 million. It's at almost 70 million. Greenland 2 Migration down to almost 1 million. It's at 16.9, not nearly as high as some of the other Gerard Butler movies the last few years. Anaconda is up to 62 million. Film called Clicker opened to 1.3. No Other Choice is at over 8 million, but not an Oscar nominee, but it is potentially going to be one of the 10 biggest neon movies ever. And then Arco, in its official New York LA open with about $51,000 in 4 theaters. Arco expands nationwide this Friday. It is an Oscar nominee for Best Animated Feature. If you have not watched my interview with Natalie Portman and Hugo Bienvenu, go to the Animation Scoop YouTube channel. Okay, I'm seeing the comments. Appreciate it. Pete Crouch, Jesse Plemons was the best lead actor performance of the year. I did not care for Begonia. Jesse Plemons did not get nominated. I thought Begonia was a movie the Academy was not going to love as much, but they did. Picture, actress for Emma Stone, other categories. Begonia is an Oscar nominee. What else we got here? What do you think about Miley Cyrus getting snubbed? It's not a good song. It's not. So I was not shocked that Miley Cyrus did not get nominated for Best Song for the Avatar song because it is not a good song. Let's talk about the movies that are opening this week, and then I'll get to some Oscar nomination reactions. I didn't care for Begonia. No, it was, talk about ridiculous and just went on and on and on. Talky. No. Okay, this weekend, Send Help is probably going to be number 1. Mercy's 11-2. Next weekend, Mercy will go down to about 5. Send Help is probably number 1. But there is an interesting wild card in all of this in Iron Lung, which is getting a lot of attention. So maybe Iron Lung makes a lot of money. You also have an animated film I have seen called Tafiti Across the Desert. I'll have more on that later this week. Animated family film from Blue Fox. It'll make a little bit. Then you have the documentary Melania. You have another documentary, Paris Hilton, Infinite Icon, a visual memoir. Then you have Moses the Black. You have Charlie XCX's film called The Moment. You have the Jason Statham action thriller Shelter. And the Lego Movie is getting re-released in 3D. Because I guess Warner Brothers wants it to make some more money. It's not an anniversary year. It's been like 12 years since the first one, since this Lego Movie came out. Sure, why not? 12th anniversary. Okay, Lego Movie back in theaters in 3D this weekend. Yeah, and but we'll see if Send Help is number 1, or it could be Iron Lung, or maybe we get a surprise. There was some big news this morning. The Super Mario Galaxy movie has a new release date. It moved up a couple days. It's now going to open Wednesday, April 1. The last Mario movie from 3 years ago had a 5-day open. That was gigantic. So no real surprise here. But Universal wants a 5-day for Mario again. So it will now be in theaters Wednesday, April 1. And they got to get that marketing in full swing. We're not that far away from April 1. Yeah, especially we got other animated movies coming out. Goat, Hoppers, and more. The BAFTA nominations are Tuesday. If you have heard, K-Pop Demon Hunters did not qualify for the BAFTAs because of their theatrical release guidelines. So there are going to be 3 animated feature nominees, but none of them are going to be K-Pop Demon Hunters, and it'll be very interesting which one they pick as the best animated feature. If you remember from 10 years ago, 10 years ago, Zootopia, which they call Zootropolis over in England, did not win their Best Animated Feature award. It went to Kubo and the Two Strings from Laika. So it'll be interesting which one they choose if Zootropolis 2, as they call it, will get nominated. There's buzz for Arco to win. We'll see what happens with the BAFTA nominations on Tuesday. All right. Let's get to some of these reactions from the Oscar nominations. I think some of the big stuff, and thank you to everybody watching here. I agree that I think Project Hail Mary is going to make a lot of money and be a critical darling. It feels that way. So let's talk about these Oscar nominations from the other day, from Thursday. F1 in Best Picture. I mean, I smiled when that moment happened, and I kind of chuckled because I was like, okay, F1's in. Yeah, I thought Weapons was going to get that spot. I really did. I thought the younger Academy voters were going to embrace Weapons, but only Amy Madigan nominated, not screenplay or anything else, just Amy Madigan for Weapons from the Academy. But it was the older Academy voters with F1. And here's the thing. Here's why we should have all predicted F1 was going to get it. I mean, it's tough to say because of the June release date. But look at Ford versus Ferrari. I remember watching those Oscar nominations in January 2020. It was the morning after Critics' Choice when I was out in California. And at that time, it was not 10 mandatory Best Picture nominees, I think. I think you needed 5% of the vote to get in. Or if it was, you still needed 5% of the vote to get in. Something like that. When they listed the nominees for Best Picture, after Ford vs. Ferrari got the sound category nominations and film editing, and then they list Ford vs. Ferrari is nominated for Best Picture, I went, whoa! Wow, there's the Academy voters, the older Academy voters, who said at least 5% of them, even though it wasn't nominated for acting, directing, screenplay, music, I don't even think it got in for cinematography. It was just editing in the sound categories. At least 5% of the votes from the Academy said, we love Ford versus Ferrari. And I went, whoa. And then it ended up winning 2 Oscars for editing in one of the sound categories. So the Academy really liked that movie. And here we are again. Here's F1, editing, sound, visual effects, I think. 4 nominations total because you add Best Picture into the equation. Just a few technical categories and enough that the Academy loved it as a movie. Racing films. There it is again. Again, June versus November for Ford versus Ferrari. That's when that came out. So it was on people's minds, and Christian Bale had gotten a few nominations along the way. But still, for F1 to get in is impressive. It's the blockbuster one along with Sinners, which of course broke records with 16 nominations, the biggest of all time. Even if you don't count the new casting category nomination as if it had broken a record, you had Delroy Lindo and all the technical categories. But that casting category is important. It's great. We have a new category. We're going to get the stunt category in a couple of years as well. But you look at that and you go, wow, 16 nominations for Sinners. Sinners and F1 are the blockbuster nominees in that Best Picture category because you don't have Avatar, you don't have Wicked, you don't have Weapons. And a lot of people early on, including me, thought Wicked was going to get in, but it was not embraced. Avatar, this is the first of the franchise not to be nominated for Best Picture. So the blockbusters went to Sinners, the critical darling, and the blockbuster, and F1, the fun popcorn movie. So that's your Best Picture surprise was F1. In terms of acting, Paul Mescal getting snubbed, Chase Infinity getting snubbed, but you had Delroy Lindo and you had Kate Hudson, I think, take those spots. As far as the rest of the acting nominees, no huge shockers. No Ariana Grande in supporting actress, but the Academy loved Sentimental Value, as I think we all expected. Even though it didn't get any SAG nominations, the Academy fully embraced Sentimental Value, including in director. So we got some comments here on The Secret Agent. Wicked for Good was not great. Yeah, The Secret Agent did get some love, absolutely. But yeah, as far as who's going to win right now, it's probably Chalamet, Buckley, maybe Skarsgård versus Lindo, and then in supporting actress, I'm thinking Tiana Taylor probably at this point because the Sentimental Value votes will split. And I don't think Amy Madigan will win, especially with Weapons not getting any other nominations. That's probably where we're at. Director is probably PTA, but I could see Sinners winning picture. The thing I say about Sinners getting 16 nominations is every branch of the Academy wanted to make sure that Sinners, a movie that came out 9 months ago in April, got recognition. They just like remember last year when Sean Baker kept winning all those Oscars for Nora. People were like, I got to make sure Sean Baker wins something, so I got to vote for him here. And then everybody pretty much did that with every category he was in. In this case for Sinners, it was I got to make sure from my branch of the Academy that we recognize Sinners because it is nominated in all the technical categories, including score and song and across the board, which is a remarkable achievement. To break the Academy record, it's amazing. And for a good film, it is a good film. So I'm glad it's a good movie. So is La La Land, so is All About Eve, and so is Titanic. So the biggest nominated movies ever in Oscar history are 4 good films. So I'm glad about that. We'll see how many Oscar Sinners wins. I could see Sinners winning Best Picture. I could. Based on this today and members of the Academy saying, I want to make sure Sinners gets the recognition it deserves, not just from the nominations, but from the wins. It's a long award season. We're still almost 2 months away from the Oscars on March 15, and people may go, let's just vote for Sinners. Maybe one battle loses steam. Hamnet is trying a little bit, and I think it's very much in play, but maybe Sinners does win this thing, and a SAG ensemble win for Sinners would definitely help its chances. So we will see what happens. All right, an animated feature was pretty much the 5 we expected. The animated shorts, it's a good list. The animated feature is a good list, and we'll see what happens. Oscar voting will be early March. More award shows on the way. Like I said, BAFTA nominations are Tuesday. We'll have the BAFTA show, the Spirit Awards, the Actor Awards, the Annie Awards, and more up until that point. Yeah, Marty Supreme was snubbed for score. And the screenplays could split one battle and Sinners, but watch out for Blue Moon and Ethan Hawke. Maybe there's some momentum there, but we will see. All right, that's it for today's episode of LCJ Live. Keep it to socials for more. That's X at LCJ Reviews, Instagram at LightsCamJackson, YouTube.com/LightsCameraJackson. Subscribe to the channel and go to lights-camera-jackson.com, toofast2films.com. LCJ.podbean.com and AnimationScoop.com. New interview tomorrow with the creators of the new PBS Kids animated series Phoebe and Jay, premiering Feb 2. And I'll see you next time for LCJ Live. And if you want my interviews with the directors of a couple of this year's nominated short films in animation and feature films, Go to animationscoop.com. And like I said, Natalie Portman and Hugo Bienvenu interview, go to the Animation Scoop YouTube channel. Thanks for being here for today's episode of LCJ Live. Stay well. Stay safe with the weather across the country. I will see you next time on LCJ Live. Bye-bye.